Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Selena Vasquez-Mireles. All Star Education is an all-purpose facility that supports all aspects of learning. With this purpose in mind, I created Back to School, a parent's guide, to help folks get and stay organized in a manner that best supports their students' academic success. Let's get started. You may want to get some supplies together to help you through this organizational process. In this video, I'm going to provide 10 key ways to help you get your students back to school in a safe, supportive process. Let's begin. Number 1, establish a positive routine. Be sure to ask your student about their day every day. Also, do not underestimate the power of homework. It is essential for continuity of learning, and it really helps cement the ideas learned that day and that week. Number 2, communication. Open up all channels of communication through software, newsletters, phone numbers, emails, websites. Be sure you have all of this information written down and readily available to you. Another thing I would like to point out is that if you plan to volunteer at the school, which I highly encourage, make sure that you learn about the processes or the protocols needed for gaining clearance. Many times that takes some time for you to be reviewed, and you want to make sure that you're ready to go when you're needed. Number 3, student information. Make sure you have your student's ID number written down. That also includes the state number that they may have. Make sure you have a copy of your student's schedule and that you understand all the different options that they may have. Make sure that you also know about any kind of exams that the student may take, whether it's a kindergarten readiness exam. Sometimes there's timing in terms of gifted and talented testing, dyslexia testing, or anything like that. Of course, you have to buy your school supplies, and you also have to know about the uniforms. Number 4, health protocol. We know that that's extremely important nowadays. Be very prepared because the health protocols may change on a day-to-day basis. Make sure you're up to date on any required vaccinations or any type of documentation that you may need for those type of waivers. Understand where the school nurse is and how to access the school nurse. Make sure that you complete ahead of time any paperwork for prescription drugs or over-the-counter medicine that is to be handled at school. Make sure that you know what type of exams, like eye exams, that a students may have. Number 5, school calendar. Make sure you have a copy of the school calendar readily available. Make note of important dates like holidays, testing dates, and early release dates. There's also dates for awards and recognitions and field trips. I know that it was good for me to understand when those dates are and make arrangements with work so that I knew what days I needed to be available for my children. Number 6, student success. You want to make sure you have a copy of the student handbook and pay close attention to any of the policies related to absences and tardies, dress code, and disciplinary processes. You also want to make sure that you get a class syllabi from the teachers. If they don't have one, I'm sure they'd be happy to share with you their day-to-day policies that are communicated with the students. You may also want to anticipate getting a reading list. What kind of books are your students going to read? I like to get a list up front, and that way I can buy them all at the same time and take advantage of any discounts or free shipping. I also think it's a good idea to keep any type of work products that you can from your students. Think about the end goal. Remember in number 1 we talked about goal setting. What colleges do your students want to go to? What kind of career do they want to have? Even if your student is in kindergarten, first grade, fourth grade, seventh grade, 10th grade, you need to be thinking about that end goal. And any kind of work products, anything that you want to make sure that you capture that is stellar work from them, like a poem they wrote, an essay they wrote, picture that they drew. I think that also provides good memories, but it helps to build a good portfolio. And also think about what that means in terms of going to college, that you can see a sustained work effort from your student. And also they can be writing things and getting ahead of the game in terms of letters of recommendation or essays that they need to write for those college applications. This also means that you may want to look at other opportunities that normally we don't see in public schools, and that would be opportunities to do research, opportunities to volunteer, things like that. Those are good ways to build the whole student. Number 7, extracurricular activities. I can't tell you how important this is for your students to get involved, to get engaged, and be part of the school community. There are many opportunities through sports, through clubs, competitive club groups. This is a great thing for students to engage in these type of activities. Make sure that you're aware of when those tryout dates are and what type of paperwork is needed ahead of time. Number 8, logistics. Make sure you have a copy of the map of the school, and you also want to try out the drop-off and the pickup. Make sure you have everything that you need, and not only for you, but for anybody who may be picking up your child or dropping off your child. Make sure you have all those permissions set in place. You also want to know what happens or how you should handle late arrivals or early departures and any other materials that need to be picked up. Number 9, informal learning times and activities. There is learning going on not only in the classroom but outside of the classroom as well. I already emphasized the importance of these extracurricular activities, but there are other opportunities, other types of engagement where learning occurs. Many teachers offer tutoring either before school or at lunch or after school. Find out what those opportunities are and see if that's something that your student could do. Also find out about the library, not only the library at school and when students can go in there and check out books and what those processes are, but also your local library, and getting a library card is probably one of the first times a student can get their own card and feel very empowered by that process. You also may want to ask about any kind of free apps or resources that teachers recommend for additional learning at home, and any other programs that occur, like maybe after school care and what type of curriculum they use. Finally, number 10, safety protocols. What types of drills are your students going to practice? When do those practices happen? Will you be alerted of those drills? That's important so you can have conversations with your students so that it helps to reduce that type of anxiety. You may also want to know what happens when a true emergency occurs, or what kind of communication will occur. Make sure you understand how you'll get alerted if the school is going to be closed or there's a delayed start or an early release. Well, there you have it. 10 key ways to be better prepared for this coming year. Um, I want to help reduce your anxiety as well. So I did create a worksheet, and you can get that worksheet at allstareducation.site. And if you really like this video, please be sure to like it, hit the subscribe button and the notifications. I'm about to launch some really great material, especially in mathematics, and I want to make sure that you're well aware of when that happens. Thank you for your time, and I wish you all a great school year.